Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. My name's Andrew. I'm here from the CSC team. So normally Trisha is the one leading these calls, but she's actually come down with COVID. So she will not be leading today's training. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to revisit a previous training she did on this topic back in January. So I'm going to play the recording and we'll watch it. Feel free to, if you want to watch this back later, the same recording is already on the platform. So you're more than welcome to join us as we rewatch it now, but if not, feel free to watch it as well in your own time on the platform. So I'm going to share it and start it now.
So my name's Trisha Barlow. I am over 30 years in the tech industry. I started out as a software developer or engineer, whatever they want to call themselves these days, and moved into project management, customer success, program management. I've traveled throughout Europe, Africa, and South America as an IT consultant, and I'm also ex-Compass employee. I started working with Chirag about a year ago. He asked me to join and help create the end-to-end platform and content, and also to present these trainings. Now, the purpose of these trainings isn't to replace your agent experience or your support team at Compass. The purpose of these trainings is to show you how to use the tools the CSC way, with our content and everything else worked in, intertwined. So I will be going through our best practices. I will be sharing a cheat sheet or a handout with you guys in advance, and I will be recapping some of the tool, but not all of the tool. So feel free to join in. This is going to be recorded, and I will add the link of the content onto the recording. It'll be on our platform tomorrow if you want to look at it again. And right now, I'm just dropping that link right now into the CSC content, and we're going to get started. So what we're talking about today is building your listing presentations. I will share my screen quite shortly, but before we get started, I just want to be clear that all we ask is that you get one takeaway from these tool trainings. If you get one takeaway and adapt that into your business, we are on a winner. So the way we use the pitch book in CSC, we do not go through that with a client during the listing presentation. The whole purpose of the listing presentation or the pitch book is that it's something that's left behind, and it just shows a complete roadmap into everything that you did with the client. So for example, our CMA, we do that as a collection, as a CMA. We don't use the old style CMA. So when you share on your pitch book, the same with the marketing plans and calendars, we're going to, in a separate training, you'll see it, we share those through an iPad presentation. We have scripts for you and everything else to go through those. So when you leave your pitch book behind and your client or your prospective client is flicking through it, they're going to see things like images, the same images, for example, that you used in your iPad presentation, and it's going to just ring a bell with them. It's like, oh yes, I remember they had that on that beautiful presentation, and it's all, coming back. So that's the whole purpose of the listing presentation, the way CSC uses it. We will go through a listing presentation. We'll create one very quickly, but I am going to use the CSC resources in it, and a couple of the things that we recommend regarding testimonials and things like that. So what should be in your listing presentation is everything about Compass, about you and your team, your testimonials. And the whole point of the testimonial is that they are to overcome people's objections. We want sample marketing plans. We want sample calendars, marketing calendars. the communication plan, and the keys to an effective partnership. So all of those things, we're going to have a look at the content I just shared with you, and we're going to look at adding those into your listing presentation. Is anybody any questions on that before I get going, or are you all good? Okay, you should be able to unmute. If you can't, let me know in the chat. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, and this is the content I just shared with you. It's some people call it a cheat sheet. I just call it a handout. It's just the content we're going to go over today. If you click on any of these, it'll take you to our platform, and how talking about creating listing presentations and things like that. We're going to go through the sample marketing plans and everything I already mentioned here, including the coffee book. Shrag likes to call it the Compass coffee table book, and there's a script in there as well for when you're leaving it behind. Just a quick couple of lines on how to tell them that this is what it is and this is the purpose. So I'm going to go into the marketing. I'm going to just create a standard listing presentation. Now, one of the things we have provided to all of you, and don't worry about finding this information right now. You should be able to find it. Oh, did I just get a message to say their system is down? Let's see if we can do this. Your navigator will feed this information to you regarding the marketing plans and everything else. I have it in the content, but don't feel that you have to know everything immediately today. I do repeat these trainings, so you can come in again later after you've had a look at some of the marketing plans and practices that we have, and work from there. Karen just asked me, where's the best place to find these cheat sheets and best practice for saving them? So Karen, I actually, if they are relevant, I share them on my trainings. And if for any reason, you can just bookmark them. You could actually just simply very quickly, if I go in here, you could quickly bookmark it by just clicking the X, and you could then create a new folder, choose a new folder, and it could be, you could call it, sorry, the new folder, and you could call it tech training or tech cheat sheets, whatever you want. But that's where, that's sorry, having a little bit technical difficulty there. Tech cheat sheets, it's a word I can't use right now. So that's just one way you could do it. Just bookmark it there very quickly yourselves as you share them. And they'll also be in all the past events. I add this as a resource to the bottom, so you can find them. If you're looking at a past recording, you'll be able to go in and use them. And the cheat sheets aren't in the personal roadmaps build, but all this content is on end to end, one way or another. I just try and make it easy for people who are attending things about listing presentations to put all our content relating to that into one document, so you can find it easily enough. So what we're going to do is, hopefully, it looks like looks like the Compass platform is having a little bit of a problem, but I'm going to see if we can push through and see what happens. Let's see if we can go in and create a listing presentation. It looks like their platform is down. And if that's the case, that's okay. I'll just talk you through what we do and how we do it. And just give it a minute here.
Take a stock photo.
Maybe, just maybe it'll come in. I'm going to try a new a new link and just see if that is working. What the problem is.
Hey, everybody. So it looks like this training is one from a time when the Compass platform was not working for Trisha. So instead I'm going to share, we're going to pick up right where we left off, and I'm going to share a training from the month before where the platform was working. So give me 1 second.
we're looking at the listing presentations, which is obviously in the marketing. And what we're going to include in our listing presentation, we're going to include samples of our marketing. You're going to include information about yourself, information about your team. You're going to include testimonials. And the whole purpose of testimonials is that they answer any of your common objections. So you want to gear your testimonials and list the ones that say, for example, oh my gosh, Jane was the best agent I ever had. She was on time. She, gave me the best service. She was great value for money, or great, whatever it is. What are your common objections? Think about, what are my common objections, and find your testimonials that satisfy those. Great communication, anything like that. And communication is a big problem with agents and their clients. Clients don't always feel they're in the loop, and that's why we have the whole communication plan and everything else. So gear your testimonials that they look like that. And when you're asking for a testimonial, don't be afraid when you're asking for them to kind of remind the client, would love a testimonial, blah, blah, blah. But remember when we went through this, that, or the other, and I helped solve your problem, or I helped reach out and we got all those contingencies wiped or swiped or whatever it was, or we got all the we got the buyer to add in an extra 5% for whatever it is that you helped them, went above and beyond. Mention it when you're asking for the testimonials, because people want to give you the best testimonial. They want to sing your praises, but a lot of times people just don't know how to do it. So don't be afraid to share old samples. Here's an example of what someone else wrote. Here's an example of this. I loved working with you, and when we did X, Y, and Z. These are high points for me working with you. And you'll find that they're going to repeat those high points back in your testimonial. So don't be afraid to nurture that conversation. It's perfectly normal to do that. The other thing we're going to put in some sample marketing plans, and we're going to put in, like I said, the communication plan and the other resources that we have. So let's get started. I'm going to go in and start one from scratch, right? So let's go. These are business plans. Let's just pick the national listing presentation. I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to create one today for a price point of 1 to 3 million. And what's happening? It's just gone dead. Guys, if any of you have any questions, just unmute and ask. Don't worry about that at all. First thing you do in anything in the marketing plan, you give it a new name. And then, so first thing you do is give it a name, and that apparently starts the auto save, and you can see it immediately. It's starting to save. It will save if you don't do that, but this is just a sure way of making sure it starts the auto save system for you automatically. And those of you who've attended old presentations on the listing presentation with me, you know that I love using the listing presentation to create little flip books to send to people after you've closed about the area that they've moved into, if it's in their new home, or if it's, if a buyer you've had or whatever it is. I love using listing presentations to this template to create a flip book for whatever type of brochure you would normally hand out. I think they're awesome, and they're really clean and look great. So we're not going to add a listing here, because that's what you would do once you have the listing. We're just creating our master here. Now, once you see anything with a layout, it means you click on it and you can have a look and see. So choose which one you prefer, whether you want the image of the listing in there or the straight line. It's entirely up to you how you want that to look.
Trish, are you
yes.
saying that you can create a master and then insert the listing into it?
Yeah,
because I've been using a listing presentation for a property and then having to swap out all, the irrelevant information for another listing. So, this is huge. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So yeah, having a master listing presentation is great. It's going to be generic. And then as you use it, like Mary said, you don't have to reinvent the wheel each time. It's going to save you a lot of time. So just create a master one and then add in whatever listing you're going into. You can customize it for that a little. But like I said, have one for different price points if you sell into different price points. If you don't give yourself the extra work, right? Do one and done if that's all you need. So in your bio, you're going to just keep this short and sweet. If you have looked at the value, defining your value proposition, if you have a look at that on end to end, you'll get some ideas of the short and simple and nice ideas you want to put in there. And the same in here with your, when you get to work with me, you get X, Y, and Z. Again, these are just specific to you. You want to stand out, so you want to make it meaningful to everything that you offer your client. And remember, you're in end to end. You know the 100+ steps that you go through for these people. So add them in. In here, you would add, a nice lifestyle photo. I don't currently have one, so I'm going to see what I have in my favorites that I can add in. Nothing, just me. So I'm going to go take a stock photo now. If you've never used these stock photos, these are great for newsletters and things like that. They're all free, they're all yours. Compass made them available. You can search for different topics, whatever you want. Just feel free to go in and choose something that, reflects. I mean, you're not going to do it in a listing presentation. That's all going to be about you. I'm just using it because I don't have a lifestyle photo. So imagine that being a lifestyle photo. But they're great. You can use them for anything later on. In here, I'm going to put in my name. And put in my title. And remember, if you're in an area, if you're in a market that demands your DRE, add your DRE number. Always and everywhere. Add your DRE number if that's a requirement. Okay, so you see this is getting all mushy and disgusting. So what you can do is down here, you see the fill, we can make it a little bigger and we can move things around. So I'm going to go up here, I'm going to move my name. Never be afraid of doing anything. These pink grid lines will keep you on track and you can always undo anything. And then I'm going to go down here and I'm going to move this one back up so it's not all ugly anymore. Okay, let's see, I have a question in chat. Where do we save our master temps? It's going to be, I'm going to show you that, Diane, when we're finished. Your master one is going to be in your normal marketing. But a lot of people don't realize when you create something in Marketing Center, it actually saves in an area called Documents. And you can just search for the word master then, and it'll pop up for you. I'm going to show you that at the end. So this here, insert social media, this is just because it's something you're printing off. It's not hyperlinked or anything like that. It's just literally you put in your social media, whatever it is, on Instagram or whatever it is you want to put in there. You just add all this details in here. And now I'm going to go back to my fit so you can see everything. Now, I like to keep the pages on the left. So if you need to move things around, it's very simple. You just click this move thing and you move them this way on the left or move them up, whichever way you want. You can't really do it here. You do all of that stuff here. I like to keep them there. The reason I like to keep pages open on the left is so as I can see what's next and what I have to do. I just personally, that's the way I like it. If you don't like it and you want your screen bigger, you can just close it off like that. Again, now, these are the testimonials. We spoke about testimonials at the beginning. Put your most important and problem-solving testimonials first, always. People are lazy, people get bored, they will read 4, maybe 5, and then be done. Other people will come back later on and they might flip through them all. If you have a very, very long testimonial, I'm going to ask you who's going to read it. I've seen really long testimonials. Who reads long testimonials in your experience, guys? I'd love to get your input here. Do you find your clients read the long ones, or are they reading just the short, simple, punchy ones? So if you get a really long one and you want to put it on your website or whatever, what's the problem with summarizing it and sending it to your client and saying, hey, what do you think? I summarized this into 5 lines or 1 paragraph. Is it okay with you if I use this? As long as you're true to what they're saying and you haven't changed their words, I don't see why they wouldn't allow that. So try and keep them short and punchy, but obviously good. No one wants to read an essay. No one wants to read an essay. I don't want to read an essay. Do you guys, when you're looking at testimonials, even reviews online, do you read the really long ones or do you read the short ones? I read the short ones. I'm not reading. I go for the stars and I read the short ones. And don't be afraid to do that either. You can always add stars in here if you want to, 5-star, and then add the information. And the same with this one. If you want to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars, and then add the information. You're not saying that they said it was 5 stars. And anyway, most people would be fine. Hey, do you mind if I add 5 stars onto that, or 4 stars, or 3 stars, or whatever it is? There's no problem with that. And you'll see a lot of people do that on their Compass page anyhow. They have stars beside their testimonials. So that's fine. So this is where we're coming into your notable sales, right? This is, again, information you know about your area. You're going to fill that in, and another lifestyle photo. So notable sales. I'm going to ask you, if you wouldn't mind putting in, yes, who puts in their notable sales like this in the chat? If you could all answer, yes, I do. This is how I do it. I would love to see your replies. You just add in your notable sales like this. Who have I got? Yes, Ross, yes. Okay, I have 2 people who, yes. Tucker, great. I'm going to ask you not to do that anymore. Okay, and I'll show you why. Instead of adding your notable sales like this, what is this telling me? It's telling me you sold this property for this amount. That's great. What's notable about it? I'm asking you, what's notable about that sale? You can put it in the chat or you can unmute yourself.
Trish, I usually put in the high priced ones.
Yeah, okay, so say it's 5 million. What's that telling me?
Then I'm a $5 million listing agent.
But what's special about that in your market? What's special about that? There's a lot of 5 million.
You're right. You're right.
So I'm going to add a blank page here. And this is what I want you to think about doing from now on. So I'm going into my listing media. I'm taking the same listing. There it is there. I'm going to size it down a little. Pardon? Okay. I have it like this. I'm going into my text. But don't be afraid to do any of this. It's so easy to undo. There's your undo button. You make a mess, you undo. Don't worry about it. First of all, I'm adding a header. And I'm going to take this over here. And I'm going to put the listing. I can't remember what it was. I think it was 315 Malone. I'm going to put another header. They always go in the bottom. And the reason I'm using header, actually, I can use the same one. I'll just do return. And I'm going to put the price, say this is 5 million. Don't worry about it being out of the box. That's fine. I'm going to just make it a little bit like this, okay? Now I'm going to add a paragraph. And my paragraph is going to tell you why this is a notable sale. This is a notable sale because it was 5% above asking. It was sold less than 30 days on the market. That's telling you what a notable sale is, right? That is telling you why that is important. Because remember, people in your area know what properties sell for. They know if they're going to be 5 million, 6 million, $1 million homes in your market. They know that. Up here, I'm adding a title. It's going to say notable sales. And if you want to, all this information here, take it out of there and you can leave it. Sorry. Excuse me. This is where you use the fill when you start doing stuff like this. Delete that. I'm going to go here. I'm going to make it a bit bigger. Have this at 24. I can do the same for this. I can make it all bold. can leave it all like that. And I can make that even bigger if I want. That's that's a little too big, right? Let's go down. Okay, that's a notable sale. And now I can do the same for another one. Okay, it's going to take a time, but remember, you're making a master listing presentation. Notable, I can't even spell. You're making a master, so you're not doing this every time. So let's go in and get another one and do the same thing. I'm going into a listing, and I'm going to take this property here. And again, I just resize it down. And just put it underneath. The pink lines are keeping me in track and making sure it's all good. I'm going to see. No, it's not going to duplicate that for me. I'm going to put in more text. I'm going to put in another header. Again, you have to move it. And say this, I don't know what this is. Say it's 123 Main Street. And what's great about this one is that I sold it for 3.500. And guess what? Keller Williams listed for 90 days. I sold it within 30. Now that's a little nasty. So you don't have to use something like that. You can think of different ways of doing it. These are notable sales. When I'm flicking through your listing presentation, or your pitch book after the listing, after you've delivered the pitch and you've gone off and everywhere, and I'm going in here, and now I'm seeing this. This is so much better than this, right? Is this something you guys will use? Brilliant. Good. That's what I like to see. I love seeing yeses coming up. So take your time, do it. Let me make this a little smaller again. I've got all of you guys in front of me, so I can't see where I am on my page sometimes. And add another page. Pages, when you add them, always appear after the one you're currently on. So add another blank page and do the same again, and do 5 or 6 really, or do at least 6, because if you're doing 2, I think 2 per page is really good because they're big and you can make the size big, and you're telling them. This is the pitch book we're doing now, Diane. This is your pitch book. This is the listing presentation. So this really tells them why it's a notable sale, and you can keep going, and then you just delete these ones that you don't need. Now, don't get me wrong. These are fantastic. The way you put them in, you put in the address, they pull the information for you. They're fantastic. You don't have time, you're running out the door. Fantastic. But you're telling a story here, and you want to win that listing, and you want to tell them why it's a notable sale. You can go in here after you add it, and you can edit all this, but it's tiny. It's really tiny. So I'm going to say, don't do that. Funnily enough, I forgot to wear my watch today. So I've only got 5 minutes left, so I want to skip through to the next stuff. So here we have my team. Again, you could put in your team members here and add them in. If you don't have a team, you don't have to. Another way you can do it is add a page, add another blank page, and you can put in a big photo of your whole team here, and then add a text that says, meet my team. Remember, you're not just competing against non-Compass agents, you're competing against Compass agents. You want to stand out, you want to be remembered. You all have the same tools, it's how you use them that counts. So you could meet my team, and you'd have a nice photo, whether it's a holiday photo or a nice new listing, lifestyle photo that you got done for your team, put it in there. You can have it like this too, but you could have this one as first. So let's go back to the pages. Say you have a beautiful big picture there of your whole team, and you want to just move it up here. You can do that. And now you've got my team, and then you've got meet my team. So there you have them all in there, right? Now, the next thing we're going to do, this all goes into the Compass, Compass is great pages, and they're great and everything else. But remember, you want your information that your agent, your client is going to read up front. Leave those things at the back if you want to include them. Next, what we want to do is we want to put in our communication plan. So I'm going to delete this page for starters. I'm going to leave it ending on this one. And I want to add a communication plan, right? So, because you're going to discuss the communication plan during the listing, during the pitch with the client. You've gone through, I'm going back into this document that we had earlier. We have a whole script for you to discuss the communication plan. So you are not saying, I'm available 24/7. You're putting boundaries on your time and their time, and you're respecting it for everybody. So then you put this communication plan in here, right? It's all in end to end before the pitch. I have it in that document to make life a little easier. So you're going to download that, and then I'm going back. Oh no, not there. I'm going back here, and I'm going to upload the PDF. And I'm going to click here. I just downloaded, so I'm just going to click the one I just downloaded and upload. And there's my communication plan in. It goes to the second page. It's in there. Fantastic. What's the next thing I want to do? I want to add my marketing plan. So we looked at the marketing plans here, and we have the marketing calendars here. We're going to download both. This is one I said I'm doing 1 million to 3 million. So that's the one I'm going to download. These are ready to go PDFs for you to use. Download that one. And then I'm going back in here and I'm downloading the marketing plan. Now, some agents do and will go the next mile, and they will customize their marketing plan before they add it to their listing presentation. And you can do that if you wish. We cover that in a different training, so I'm not doing it today. The other thing I want to cover, because I know we're getting short on time, is your keys to effective partnership. Now, again, this is all part of end-to-end before the pitch, how you discuss what you can control, what they can control, what no one can control. It's all about when you share the market. We have the whole script for you in before the pitch and delivering the pitch, and this content is in before the pitch. I'm going to download that because remember, this is a roadmap. This is a roadmap. Your pitch book is a roadmap to everything you discuss during your pitch. And when they're flicking through this later on, they're going to say, oh yeah, I remember we had that conversation. Smart person. They really, explained to me that what we can and cannot control. So this is a reminder. This is the roadmap. So now I'm going to add those pages in. I go to the last page of the communication plan. I upload the PDF now. I'm going to click here. And this is the marketing plan. It's going to come in lovely for me. There we go. And it pulled in all the pages. And now it's going to, oops, where am I? I'm here. It goes to the last page always. So now I'm going to add in another PDF. I'm going to add in the marketing plan, which again, remember, is all ready for you. I just downloaded them from the end-to-end content. And then the last thing you're going to do, and there's one other thing I'm going to show you, of course. No, not a blank page. So I'm just going to undo that. I'm going to upload another PDF. And this is the 7 keys to the effective conversation. What you can do, what you can control, what they control, what no one controls. That's in there as well now. I put it in the wrong place, so I need to move my marketing plan up. It doesn't matter what order you put them in. You put them in the order you want them in. That's just the order I'm putting them in. Now, this is you can have all these Compass pages if you want, all this extra stuff, a targeted approach, all those things, or you can delete them. Feel free to delete, especially if you're using our marketing stuff. You don't want, you can leave concierge if you want. you don't want to leave anything else in there. Well, you can, but it's entirely up to you if you do or not. And just delete some of those out. And you'll see we made them ours to match these. So if you want to leave them in there, it's all in there. So you can just click, 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 delete any ones you want. You just delete those that way. Additional pages. Again, if you want to leave them in there, do that. Now, there's one other thing I wanted to show you. And it was when we were doing the iPad presentation, we were talking about adding our own digital listing and everything else. And I can't remember who it was. Somebody asked me, how would I put that in the listing presentation? So say you've added all these lovely things into your digital iPad presentation, just to simply take that as an example. If you want to put this into your listing presentation, I literally would take a screenshot of what you've created here. And again, I'm not showing you how we did that today. That's a different training. And then I will go into here and go back up to your into your marketing plan. Okay, you have it all here. This is your marketing plan. And if you wanted to show them an example, here is the digital the property, the digital advertising. And if you want to, you could add another blank page. And then I'm going to add a text onto it. Again, title up here. So everything should be reflected. Sorry, I just need to get my moving hand here a second. Everything should match. Everything in your iPad presentation, everything in your listing presentation should all be a reflection. So you're showing a complete I don't know, I've lost my words. A complete program for everything, that everything is in sync. Your iPad presentation, your listing presentation, everything is in sync. Your conversations, what's in your listing presentation, the roadmap to everything you've had. So if you want to show sample digital ads, you can do that. I'm going to just center those by clicking up here. And then I'm going to add that screenshot I just took. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my media, and I'm going to select upload, and I'm going to upload the image that I literally just took a screenshot from the iPad presentation that we spent ages on in the last time we were doing that customizing, editing and customizing and that training session. And now there you go. You have it here, your sample digital ads, and it looks exactly the same as what they saw. So they're remembering, oh yeah, we saw that in the iPad presentation, right? So you're showing them exactly what you've done. And this is how you create, you then just literally, you download it, but you print ready PDF. It does high quality print on the high quality paper that Compass supplies. You're going to select that, you're going to print it off, not this one, this is your master, and off you go to your pitch with stuff that shows the full circle, the full story, the iPad presentation, what you discuss, your scripts, and your pitch book that you leave behind. It's all one full circle. So
all right, everybody. So we're a little bit over time, about 10 minutes, but that was the training that Trisha did back in December. Again, she couldn't join us today because unfortunately she has tested positive for COVID last minute. So that's why we were doing this training. I'm gonna put the link to it in the chat. And I will also be back with another recording that she did on using checklists to create predictable client experiences at 3 o'clock. But I am going to be also pulling from a recording for that one as well. So if you want to save yourself a little bit of time, or if you have time now, feel free to watch that recording in your own time. I'm just going to put a link to that in the chat real quick. So this is the recording that I'll be sharing at 3 o'clock. But if you have time now, feel free to watch it on your own. And then a link to the recording that I just shared So this is the one that Trisha did in December on building the listing presentation, which again contains links to all of the assets. Amy, so the 11:30 recording is going to be available tomorrow. It normally takes us about 24 hours to get the recording edited and up onto the platform with all the resources, but that'll be available tomorrow. So again, in the chat, there's a link to the recording I just shared with Trisha about creating a master listing presentation. And then there's also a link to using checklists to create predictable client experiences, which is what we're going to be covering at 3 o'clock. I'm sorry again that we've had to pivot and show these recordings for today, but we were not expecting her to fall ill. But, obviously we wish her a speedy recovery. So again, we're about 10 minutes over, but thank you for joining us. I hope to see you again at 3. But if not, we'll see you on the next training tomorrow. So thanks everybody, and have a great day.